Welcome back to Worsley Summercraft. Now today I've got this piece of ash. It's wormy, it's got lots of wormholes in it. It's a little over 13 inches long, 3.5 inches square. So I'm going to mark up the centers and get it mounted and true it up. And today I'm going to be making a captured ring goblet with better success, I hope, today than the punky birch I turned a couple of weeks ago. I'm thinking that there's going to be some bug activity that I can accent, and what I want to use is some brass shavings that I got from the key making store. I went to a couple of different stores where they cut keys, and I asked for the shavings from the machine, and I got a bunch of them in a container over there. So I'm hoping that I can maintain some of the bug activity to put the brass shavings in, just to accent this piece. So it will be a 3-ring goblet, hopefully with brass accent in the bug activity. So let's see. There's a lot going on with this piece of wood. Now ash is very hard, very similar to oak. It's coarse grain. This wood is at about 8% moisture, so it's very dry. It was an old pallet from work that I received this year sometime when I was working at Chrysler's with an electrical contractor there. There was a fellow there, my boss, and for him and his wife I made them a goblet from this same piece of wood. I'll show a picture of it right here. This was the goblet that I made for Mladen, a fella at work, and I really liked that piece. After I gave it to him, I looked at the pictures of the goblet and I thought, man, I like that. So I've always wanted to make myself another one since. So today I'm making this goblet for me. This is mine. So this piece of wood, let's see what it's got to offer inside. I'm going to get this marked up, centered, and trued up with my roughing gouge, and then we're going to go from there. Okay. Now again, today I'm wearing my UKIS shirt in support of the upcoming symposium this year, 2016. Now today is New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year to everybody, and hopefully the new year will be good to you guys. I probably won't get this video uploaded until after the new year, so I hope you all had a good, safe journey home after your partying. So let's get this done. Okay, so here I'm just marking the centers of both ends of this wood. As you can see, a little bit of bug activity right there, which comes through on the side of the wood here, and I'm not sure if that's a nail, screw, or bug activity, I'm not sure, but throughout this wood you can see all of the bug holes in the wood. Now I did microwave this, but I'm hoping that everything in there is dead, and we'll get this mounted on the lathe. Get that locked in place. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to true it up, and I'm going to put a tenon right here, and I'm going to hold it in my jaws from this end, because this is where that bug activity is that I want to fill with shavings, and I want that at the base of the goblet, I think. Now I may live to regret that, but you have to make decisions. So I've made that decision that bug activity will be at the foot of the goblet. Okay, now I've squared this up with the lathe bed by looking through it, and I've got approximately 1/4 of an inch, and as I eat away from this material, I will move this closer to the piece. Okay, so using my 3/4 inch roughing gouge, which has been sharpened with my diamond card with my honing fluid, which does do an incredible job. I recently purchased this honing fluid. I got it in Canada from Home Hardware. It is Smith's honing solution. It is 118 milliliters or 4 fluid ounces, and it cost me $8, and it did a fantastic job. Now this is a 300 and 180 grit diamond card from Princess Auto. Probably not the best quality, but it's doing a good job. I think eventually I will buy the cards, you know, the credit card style. Okay, so I now have my basic blank. It is round. I have to true up the ends, and I'm going to put a tenon on this end so I can put it in my chuck, and then go from there. Okay, so I have my drill chuck in my tailstock with a 2-inch Forstner bit, and I'm going to drill down approximately 2 to 2.5 inches for my cup. And the lathe is on slow speed. Okay, let's see what depth we have right now. We have 2 3/8, so I'm happy with that. What I'm going to end up doing is rounding off the bottom of the cup so that it's not, I don't want a flat bottom cup, I want it more like a wine glass. So when sanding the inside of goblets or hollow items, hollow vessels or items, I like to use a dowel rod with a piece of cloth taped to the end with some sandpaper of varying grits taped to that. So I can put that into the goblet and hold this, and I don't have to put my fingers in harm's way, and I've found that it's very successful in getting a good finish. Now you'll notice that the end of the sandpaper will clog up with sawdust, which is normal. So I'm going to show you a product here that's made in Canada, which I purchased at the Ontario Woodstock Wood Show this year, and it's called a sanding sitter. It's an orbital landing pad which actually spins, which is intended for using with an orbital sander. The idea is that this sits on there perfectly, and when your sandpaper is clogged, you put it in there. You can have this mounted on the bench, and you simply do that for a few seconds and it cleans up the sandpaper. Now this wasn't bad when I first used it anyway. Maybe I should use one that's clogged up to really demonstrate it, but trust me, it does work, and it saves sandpaper. You're going to save money, and I think this is a fantastic product. It was $20, and even if it lasts for 1 year and I buy another one next year at the wood show again, it will save me money. Now the piece that does the work is right here. This is, I don't know what it is. It looks like some kind of a recycled rubber, and it is actually reversible. So and you can wash it as well. You want to wash out the sawdust fairly regularly to keep it clean and effective, but it does a fantastic job. So I just want to show you this, guys. It's a great product. They do have a website, www.sandsitter.com. I'll put that in the description below. It's made in Canada, which is always nice, and you can use it just like this to remove any sawdust from any piece of sandpaper you might be using. It's not just for the orbital sander. I use it for the 2-inch discs that I have in my drill that I sometimes use for my bowls as well. So I have this in a drill, and as you can see, it's pretty gummed up right now, and if I put it on here, just for a few seconds, it cleans up pretty much all of it. There's a little bit there, but you can see that's pretty much taken all of the gum off of the sandpaper. Now that sandpaper is good to go again. So that is the inside complete. I've sanded it down to 1500 grit, and I used mineral oil as I was sanding. It's nice and smooth, and there is no bug activity in this surface yet. I think it's going to be more in the stem and the base. So now I'm going to turn the outside of the goblet. I'm going to bring my tailstock up with my nose cone into the goblet to stabilize the wood. Okay, so I'm going to measure the inside now, which is to the center is 2 3/4 to the dead center of the inside. So that's the 2 3/4 is the upmost inside of the goblet. So I can I'll bring my goblet down to about there. I will add about 3/4 of an inch to that, to the outside. So that's my cup. My stem will start here, and my base will be way down here. So it's going to be a nice long stemmed goblet with 3 rings, hopefully some bug activity that I can put some brass shavings in. I'm really hoping that I can maintain some kind of bug activity. Okay, so the cup portion of this goblet is getting close to where I want it. It needs sanding. It's going to be thinned out here more when I do the stem, and I need to get rid of this sharp edge with sanding, but it's relatively thin and still no bug activity in this portion yet. So I'm going to get this piece sanded down to where I want it, and then I'm going to put the nose cone back in and then continue with this, and I'm going to make my captured rings. Okay, so I now have the outside of the cup sanded down to 1500 grit with mineral oil applied. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work down the stem and I'm going to make my captured rings, 3 captured rings. Okay, so again, when I did the captured rings, the invisible ones on the previous goblet that I made, these are the tools I'll be using. I've got a 3/8 beading tool and my captured ring tool. Now, this does a fantastic job. Okay, so I'm going to start my bead right here, my first bead, and then I'm going to make 3 altogether right here. Okay, I'm going to bring you around here to look at this bug hollow here. It's right underneath my 3 captured rings. Look at that. That's funny, eh? Okay, so I'm going to sand the top of these. In fact, I'm going to start going around the sides of them and then get them sanded before I release them. And then I will remove this piece of wood here also. Okay, so there's a few small bug holes in my 3 captured rings. So I decided they were so small I couldn't really put anything in them. I didn't think I could anyway, so I just put thin CA in there and sprayed some accelerant on them, and I'm going to sand them down, and that's all I'm going to do with the captured rings as far as the bug holes are concerned. Okay, so I've got these rings sanded down to 320 grit. I've applied a little bit of oil. Gives you a good idea of what they look like when they're finished. Now this is my ring capturing ring tool, and this is a cutting edge and this is a cutting edge. Just these 2 edges here. This piece goes over the bead that you produce. So now I can go over my bead and break it free from the main stem. Now there's my first captured ring on this goblet. Okay, so try to ignore the noise in the background. I'm putting in some brass shavings into some holes in this and giving them a blast with the accelerant. Okay, so I've got a piece of paper underneath the stem. I've got a couple of holes here that I'm going to fill right now with some more brass shavings, but they're very small. And then I'm going to take it off the lathe to do that piece on the base, which is quite a bit bigger. So I'm just brushing them in. And then a little spot of CA, just a tiny spot. Quick blast with the activator. Okay, so I've put a little bit of tape on the underside. I am now basically going to fill this cavity with brass shavings. Some of it's going to get wasted, but like I said, I can pick it up for free. So I'm going to fill that up right now, and then add some CA glue. Soak it up with CA glue. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some on this little piece of paper, and then just go ahead and pour them in. And some more sanding. Okay, so I'm now going to get this thing completely sanded down and oil applied and some sanding sealer, and then wax it a little bit and then part it off right here. And when that's all done, I'll come back to you with the finished product. Okay, let's have a quick look at this right now. Okay, it's now sanded down to 1500 grit, the whole thing. I got the 3 captured rings complete. I got the brass inlay in all the insect holes. And now what I'm going to do is part off the base most of the way through, and then I'm going to cut it with a saw and finish off the bottom by hand. It's very fragile. It's a fragile piece, that's for sure. So that's why I've come to show you now, just in case anything goes awry. I got my thin parting tool. I'm just going to open up right here, and then I will saw off probably the last inch or so. Okay guys, thanks for watching this week's project. It's a 3 captured ring goblet made out of ash. It's finished with mineral oil, and I'm applying some sanding sealer today to it, and then I'm going going to wax it and buff it. I'm not going to use the buffing wheel though, because it's too delicate for that. It'll be hand buffed. So that's this week's project. I will post pictures at the end. I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Today is New Year's Day 2016, and I reached over 600 subscribers on New Year's Eve, so I want to thank you guys for subscribing. And in fact today I gained more subscribers still, so I'm now over 600 subscribers, so that's fantastic. I'm thrilled to bits that you guys watch my videos, when you like them, when you comment. I always reply to your comments, whether it's advice or whether you have something bad to say or good to say. I appreciate it either way. It's good to know what you guys are thinking, and if I can help you, that's great. If you can help me, that's fantastic as well. So here's to 2016. Let's hope it's a good year for wood turning. Cheers now.